A couple weeks ago, I got top 3 in the Gauntlet leaderboard of Titanfall 2. It was a great time, you should check it out. But going for that achievement had me thinking about all of the shooting range achievements. And I thought it'd be a good idea to go to the game that started it all, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And in the remastered version, there's an achievement for beating Infinity Ward's best time of 15.1 seconds. Let's get started. Before we get to the training course, we've got to shake off the rust. So I went to the shooting range to learn about hip fire and aiming, and picked up my sidearm. I don't know if you knew this, but switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading. I honed my knife skills, played some Frogger, and almost got killed by my instructor.
Notice it didn't explode.
What happened if it did though? You'd be out of a job and I'd be dead. Don't shoot me. Or, yeah, don't shoot me with your car. What the fuck? And now, it's time for the training course.
How'd a muppet like you pass selection?
I'm not a muppet. I've always been more of a Sesame Street guy. Before we can really get started, we need to know where we're starting from. So I picked up an MP5 and some flashbangs, got on the rope, and gave it the old college try. Right after dropping down, 3 targets pop up in the bridge of the ship. Once you pop those 3, you take the stairs down and hit the target at the bottom. 2 more enemies will spawn down here, but you have to throw a flashbang in the room before they'll pop up. Hit those 2 and move to the room over to hit 2 more. Throw a flashbang in the last room to activate 2 more targets, hit them, and sprint to the finish line. Much like Titanfall, I was very slow and need to cut my time in half in order to get the achievement. It wasn't that great. We can admit this. Okay, so I did it, but I didn't actually retain anything. Is that okay? Unlike Titanfall, however, this training course is much shorter. The final time I was going for in the last one is almost the same as my very first run here. Before I started learning any real strategy, I figured it'd be a good idea to just run the course a few times and get a feel for it. On my second run, I immediately shaved off 13 seconds. Hey, that wasn't bad. And on my third, I saved a little bit more and got the achievement for getting a time better than 19 seconds. If I keep going at this pace, this video is only going to be 2 minutes. And that's why the goal of this video isn't actually to get this achievement, but to get a top 50 run on the speedrun.com leaderboard, which means I'll have to get a time of not 15.1 seconds, but 11.0 seconds. I continued my runs just learning the layout and got a few not so good runs. Why do I get the feeling I just got tricked by my own beginner's luck?
The idea is to take less time, not more.
Okay, I'm sorry. I used this time to experiment and found a few interesting things. What? First of all, one of the obvious hurdles I was going to face was the amount of time it takes for him to get ready to throw a flashbang. During this time, I can't sprint or shoot, so it was clear this was going to be one of my main problems right up until the end. There's also the side effect of flashbangs. You know, flashing. What the fuck did I do that for? If you're looking at it when it goes off, you're stuck seeing God while you recover, and patiently waiting outside the door isn't exactly the speedrun mentality. The strategy I came up with to prevent this was to do a little spin move in the room. Sure, you still get flashed a little, but at least you can see the targets. Shooting them, on the other hand, is another issue. I had varying success with the guy in the corner, but I just couldn't for the life of me get the guy closest to the door. I don't know if it's aim assist messing me up or just the way hipfire works in the game, but there were so many times I was sure that I'd hit the target just for it to not move. After a few more minutes, I was able to get back to times pretty close to what I got in literally 3 tries. And once I was finally back in the groove, it only took a couple tries to beat my PB. It really is all or nothing with me, huh? After I beat my time, I learned the most useful strategy you can use while attempting this. Reloading from last checkpoint. I'm not joking. Climbing up the ladder takes so long, so you can just restart the checkpoint and pop up right by the rope. Makes all of this so much better. I should also mention, all of these different numbered sections of the course, you have to complete the previous one before the next one activates. So you have to shoot the guy at the bottom of the stairs before you can throw the flash into the next room. Stuff like that. I don't understand what I'm doing. I'll say it. I don't know what's happening. It didn't take that long before I was getting very close to that 15-second time. This is such a tight, focused challenge, and I was very rapidly correcting my mistakes. I was improving so rapidly that after only 20 minutes of playing, I beat Infinity Ward's time by 0.05 seconds. It took 20 minutes to drop my time by 18 seconds, and now I only have to drop it by another 4. Would you be surprised to know that I'm only a 10th done? Now that we're on to the hard part of the challenge, I figured it'd be a good idea to look at a video. And I found out that the run starts in a much different way than what I've been doing. Well, I sure did. Remember the M16 I used at the beginning? Well, we're using its underbarrel M203 to deal with the first 3 targets at the same time. This adjustment gave me a few problems. First, the course won't actually activate until you have your MP5 out, but that's easy, because once it does activate, you can just pull the M16 back out. The other, much more frustrating part of this was when the grenade wouldn't explode at all, which was often. Getting too close to the wall, reset. Firing too close to yourself, reset. Especially in the beginning, about 80% of my resets were down to this one problem. And even if it does explode, it won't always hit all 3. If you shoot into the stairwell or the recessed part of the room, you'll only get 1 or 2. And every now and then, for reasons I couldn't hope to understand, it wouldn't hit any of them. It feels very finicky to do, and I never got consistent with it, even at the end. Regardless of how annoying it is, it was worth it to learn. 19 seconds, 16.7, 16.1, 14.55. Woo! Holy shit. With every run, I was getting a little more comfortable with it and a lot faster. But I was still waiting outside the door for the first flash. I tried using the spin trick in a few runs, but it didn't feel all that consistent, so I went back to waiting like a good little boy. I had a feeling that my next hurdle would be to speed up this room, but for now, I'm focusing on getting better at the new route. Well, we don't have to wait and see what happens there. 13.6! Oh my god! Woo! Ooh, this is good. After a little more practice, I was able to get a 12.45. Ooh, oh, 12.45. Holy shit, bro. And I am knocking on the door of top 100 in the leaderboard. Only a quarter of a second to go. And it only takes a little longer than that to like and subscribe. Bigger numbers help me out, and it lets YouTube know to recommend my videos more. So if you want to support what I do completely for free, subscribe today to help a gamer in need. So close to top 100, I realized something I could do to make the grenade launcher part a little easier. Why? Why would you do this to me? Something I've never done in all my years. Changing the control scheme. Sure, we've all switched to tactical once or twice back in the day, but I'm not talking about tactical. I switched to a control scheme I've never even heard of. Stick and move. Where tactical switches melee with crouch, stick and move switches melee with jump. At the very beginning, I needed to cut right, sprint and jump, turn left, shoot, and turn back right before I land to preserve my momentum. All of that is crazy to do when the jump button is A. So with this one simple switch, the beginning got way easier. It did also have the side effect where sometimes I'd knife when I wanted to jump down the stairs, but I figured I could hammer out that little issue with practice. There was also probably a better button layout for me to use. I considered using something that put jump on a bumper or trigger, but I didn't want to change the scheme too much and cost myself hours of relearning what buttons to press. It's very interesting how speedrunning changes your perception of things. At the beginning of this, I was happy with anything under 15 seconds. Now if I get something that starts with 13, I'm annoyed. 13.45. Are you smoking weed, bro? On the other hand, beating my PB by 0.05 seconds is something to pop off for. Woo! Oh, 12. 4. Whatever it does to your brain, I was really starting to love it. What I wasn't loving were the new mistakes that were starting to crop up. I ain't making it out the hood with this one. At the end of the run, my feet seemed to be faster than my hands. I'd get all the way to the end, back out the door, and shoot the last 2 targets before sprinting to the end, only to realize I missed one or both of the last targets. That ended up killing dozens, maybe actually hundreds of runs. I can't be stopped. Oh my god. And with that, I am officially in the top 100. But for the last 1.2 seconds to shave off, I'll need to look at a reference point a little higher on the leaderboard. Up here, they do these crazy flick moves to increase movement. I'm not ready for that, but the other thing they fix is what I knew was the weak link of this whole thing. The first flash room. They throw the flash, and it doesn't blind them. How does that work? Well, it actually comes down to the base plate of the target on the right. If you throw the flash slightly to the right of it, it'll get itself stuck in between the gray metal plate and the beige thing. Flash goes off, and my eyes still work. Also, as I got further and further into this, I became more conscious of how much time it took for me to turn. So I bumped up my horizontal sensitivity from 3 to 5. And now, we are at the slog of these runs. Nothing interesting happened here. Stop! Fuck off. I was doing shit runs for almost 2 hours. I missed both of you? No better times, getting caught on doorways, getting used to the new sensitivity, having dud grenades, what you might call the dark days.
There is a bullet hole in the target. What do you mean I didn't hit him? I missed. I missed.
But eventually, I started whittling my time down, getting faster and faster and faster, until eventually I got this run. Yes! Oh! 11 flat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I hit top 50 in the world on the Modern Warfare Remastered training course. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, maybe check out this video right here. And if you want to see the Titanfall video I mentioned, you can check that out right here as well. Thank you again, and like and subscribe to make the numbers bigger.